All right, so we got the clutch side pretty much done. We're going to polish off the clutch cover and put that on. So this thing, there's a drift key, just slides right in there. Guess we could probably set this aside and go polish the cylinder. This turned out pretty good. They were all crusty. Now they're all clean. There's a little bit on the back of this one. I could probably scrape that off. Piston and studs. Cylinder. Back to the power valve. This is what Power Seal did. Nice, clean refinish. There's the contact information. But they did a really good job. So let's put the power valve in. Okay, so once you have those in there, you'll be able to tell because it'll sit in there and it only slides in one way and it goes in all the way across. It's a square dowel that slides in from here through, and they only fit one way. And only one fits on one side because the inside of this one is tapered, so it stops. So it will not go all the way through this one, but it will go all the way through this one, if that makes sense. And then you can see inside. So I think I might try to hit this and polish it a little bit. I think so. Maybe we'll Dremel polish it. We'll do a little time lapse and I'll hit it with the Dremel. Did most of it on the wheel. Turned out pretty good. I'll finish up the little detail spots with the Dremel. All right, we got that polished. That looks pretty good. I used the fine grit on the grinder on the buffing station and then another fine grit on the Dremel and just evened it out. Looks pretty good. But I also noticed that I have a snapped off screw in there, so I'm not sure how I'm going to get that one out. I might have to work on that one for a minute, see if I can't get it out. Okay guys, so I worked on that screw and I got the majority of it out. Might be able to put something in there, but it's not going to match, so I still got to work on that one. Cylinder is polished, and I think I want to move on to this. So I'm going to try to get everything off of that, and we're just going to go over to the wire brush and work this puppy over and see what we can come up with. Otherwise, I might just have to order another one. But I'm going to go put it under the wire brush, and I'll be back in a minute with what I came up with. Okay, you guys remember what it just looked like about 5 minutes ago. Bam. That's pretty badass. 15, maybe 20 minutes. Wire brush. It's got some nicks in it, but I think that just gives the O2 a little bit of personality. I don't know. What do you guys think? Drop a comment if you're going to watch this. Let me know. I was thinking about doing the Honda black and then just around this outside edge, masking that off, and then having it black around the edges, because I didn't get all that shit. I mean, it's like the original magnesium, like Cerakote, and then the spray paint. I got some of it, but really this face, I was thinking about just taping out around the edge here and doing the bolt holes in the outer perimeter black, and then this black. And then that way, you know, when you rode it, it wouldn't be rubbing off any kind of like powder coating or coating right here where your boot goes. It would just, you could continue to polish that and then touch up the Honda logo. So I don't know, that turned out pretty good. Wire brush, and then the Scotch-Brite pad, and aluminum's a pretty amazing metal. So let me know. So with the cylinder that we got, power seal matched the rings and the piston to the cylinder. So all we got to do is lube it up and install. Put a little assembly lube on that. Slide that in. Put one in one side. Arrow points towards the exhaust. When you get it in one side, make sure you turn the opening away from these openings. I usually just use a little screwdriver. Grease your circlip. But then slide it down, push the pin through. Seat it against the pin on the other side that you already installed, and then put this pin in. Usually hook one side in, hold it with my thumb, and push down with a screwdriver, and it goes right in. And then of course turn it, and it goes on a certain way. It's shaped the same way. So set your gasket down, and you need your rings. Once you have both of your ring gaps verified and you have your rings on with the T's facing up, there's a pin here and a pin here. You got to line the gaps up and they hold those pins. And then you want to put a little 2-stroke oil inside the cylinder. I'm going to be using red line in this bike, so that's what I'll use to get her started. Pinch one ring and pinch number 2 ring. And I always just turn it back and forth, and it sets right on there. Okay, cylinder's on. Next, you want to put on all 4 of your stud bolts. And tighten in a crisscross pattern. This one is a little tricky. You can't torque it, so it's really by feel based off of how easy after these are torqued. the tension that you have to do to break one of these loose is the same tension you would want to use when you set this one. So we'll go ahead and set that and tighten these down. See if we can find those reeds. All right, guys. This is how far we got this week. All this weekend. Really liking how it turned out. Got everything together. Got the cylinder set. Power valve in. Power valve cover coated. Reed cage in. Piston in, cycled it, studs back in, clutch cover in, clutch basket in. Engine is pretty much done. Take a look at that. This way. She's a sexy one. Let's see what the compression feels like. Pretty good. There we have it. We can start putting the bike together now.